I don't feel bad rooting against the U.S. women's national soccer team in the World Cup. I'm not going to feign indifference. I want them to lose. I'm pissed that Portugal's best chance in extra time early Tuesday morning banged off the post, allowing the U.S. women's national team to advance to the knockout round via a 0-0 tie. Portugal almost ended the American nightmare. The band of Megan Rapinoe-led entitled women who struggle to respect our national anthem and lie about pay inequality. Rooting against the American nightmare is not unpatriotic. Rooting for them is. In the history of sports, no sports team or individual has needed a comeuppance more than our women's soccer team. After finishing with their second straight tie against an inferior opponent, Rapinoe and company preened, danced, took selfies, and celebrated like they had avenged their loss to a group of 15-year-old boys. Their post-game bravado was so unseemly Tuesday morning that Fox Sports broadcast team blasted them to my delight. Take a listen.
These are not the images we should be expecting to see from a team that survived Portugal and survived to get to the round of 16. I appreciate them taking care of the fans, but let me tell you, Carly Lloyd's butt would be back in the locker room kicking things, throwing things.
I have never witnessed, and just seeing these images for the first time right now on the desk, I have never witnessed something like that. There's a difference between being respectful of the fans and saying hello to your family, but to be dancing, to be smiling. I mean, the player of the match was that post. You're lucky to not be going home right now.
Loved it. You know, I got weird sleeping patterns, so I'm up in the middle of the night or early in the morning when stuff like this is going down. Should we be surprised by the behavior of these young ladies? I say no. Their collective sense of entitlement and lack of gratitude created a delusion that only failure and embarrassment can correct. And I'm not sure losing to Portugal would correct anything. If they lose on Sunday to Sweden, I'm sure Rapinoe will figure out a way to blame sexism, systemic racism, or homophobia. The American nightmare has been 50 years in the making. The adoption of Title IX in 1972 was a plea agreement American men signed with radical feminists. We copped to a crime we didn't commit. We swallowed the lie that the patriarchy owed angry women reparations. It's not true. Men have not exploited women or denied them freedom and agency. The customs of the past reflected the harsh realities of life before men paved roads, built skyscrapers, replaced covered wagons with planes, trains, and automobiles, and made eating as simple as loading the DoorDash app. Man-made technological advances produce the environment and culture that allow feminists to amnesia realities of the past and guilt-trip men in the present. Feminists are pimps, no different from Iceberg Slim or Andrew Tate. Feminists have turned men into street-walking prostitutes who turn over the spoils of their work to their abuser. When pop star Rihanna sings, "Bitch Better Have My Money," she's talking about American men. Title IX is one of the greatest hustles in the history of pimping. Iceberg Kims convinced a U.S. president and the 92nd Congress to mandate that billions of dollars be siphoned away from boys and invested in creating female jocks. It didn't matter that girls are far less likely to be interested in competitive sports, or that participation in competitive sports worked against women's supernatural reproductive powers. The American government has spent 50 years and trillions of dollars creating hardcore female jocks. We owed that to women because the government previously spent billions convincing men to take an interest in competitive sports. Wait, that didn't happen. The government didn't have to manufacture and bribe men to take an interest in competitive sports. It's in the nature of men. And we don't get pregnant and carry a baby inside us for 9 months at a time. There are actual physical differences between men and women that explain our disparate interest in playing games. Imagine that. Imagine spending billions of dollars and 50 years to create an unbeatable women's soccer team, and the players on that team using their government paid for platforms to demonize their investors. That's the women's national soccer team. That's Megan Rapinoe. That's the group of overpaid, spoiled, and entitled women who claim they're underpaid, underappreciated, and represent a racist, homophobic, and sexist country. I despise them. I want them to lose. I'm delighted that Rapinoe played awful Tuesday morning, a few days after insinuating that she could have made a difference in the team's 1-1 tie with the Netherlands. Rapinoe is the ultimate pimp. She's the Andrew Tate of LGBTQ feminism. She sees herself as a force for good, a force for freedom, and proper femininity. She believes she's a threat to the establishment. She's popular. People Google her and react to the things she says. She's wealthy beyond her imagination, sexually liberated, and adored by her followers. She's a fraud. She hates America because she hates herself. Her dyed hair, rebellious persona, constant smirk, and social justice posturing are beards masking her shallowness. She's toxic. Her attitude pervades the national team. At 38, she's only on the roster to further burnish her brand. The younger players mirror the attitude of the team's biggest star. They have little interest in representing America and competing at the highest level. They want to go viral and cash in on the feminism pimp game. Don't waste a second questioning your disdain for this team and Rapinoe. They deserve it. We poured everything we had into their success, diminished opportunities for boys and men for their success, and they've repaid us with ingratitude. Rooting for Sweden on Sunday, that's our reparations.